America is supposed to be rich, skyscrapers, big houses, expensive land. But what if I told you there are entire American cities where real estate is already dead, and it's never coming back? Not because of one bad year, not because of a recession, but because the system itself has abandoned them. Today, we're not talking about cities that are struggling. We're talking about cities that crossed a point of no return, places where homes sell for the price of a phone, but still nobody buys them. These are the US cities, where real estate will never recover. What never recover actually means. When people hear real estate crash, they assume prices will eventually bounce back. That assumption is dangerous, because real estate doesn't recover automatically. It only recovers when three things exist: jobs, population growth, long-term economic purpose. When all three disappear, real estate doesn't fall, it rots. And America has more of these places than most people realize. Next, City Cairo, Illinois. Population collapse case study. Cairo, Illinois was once one of the most important river towns in America. Two rivers met here. Trade flowed here. Money lived here. In the early 1900s, Cairo was booming. Today, it is almost empty. What went wrong? The jobs left first. When shipping routes changed, Cairo lost its economic reason to exist. Factories closed. Railroads slowed. Young people moved away. And once population starts declining, real estate enters a death spiral. The real estate reality. Houses in Cairo sell for $5,000, $2,000, sometimes $1. Not because they're cheap opportunities, but because no one wants to live there. Property taxes exceed rental income. Crime risk is high. Insurance is expensive. Investors don't touch it. Families don't move in. Businesses don't return. Cairo is not undervalued. It is obsolete. Next, City Detroit, Michigan. False recovery myth. Many people believe Detroit recovered. This is one of the biggest lies in modern real estate. Yes, downtown Detroit looks better. Yes, a few neighborhoods improved, but Detroit as a city? Still broken. The illusion of recovery, what you see online, is selective investment. Billion-dollar companies bought tiny zones, polished them, and called it a comeback. But 70% of Detroit neighborhoods are still losing value. Why Detroit will never fully recover? Population decline never reversed. Infrastructure cost is too high. Property tax burden is extreme. Schools remain weak. Crime perception never healed. A city doesn't recover when only 10% survives. That's not recovery. That's containment. Next, City Gary, Indiana. Industry. Dependency collapse. Gary was built for one purpose: steel. When steel left, Gary died. Population dropped by more than 50%. Entire neighborhoods are abandoned. Real estate truth. In Gary, houses don't appreciate. They decay. Even free houses remain vacant, because real estate without employment is just concrete with taxes, the point of no return. Every city has a moment where recovery becomes impossible. That moment happens when more people leave than arrive. City maintenance costs exceed tax revenue. Schools collapse. Crime perception locks in. Investors permanently exit. After this point, even government money can't fix it. Next, City Flint, Michigan. Infrastructure. Poison effect. Flint didn't just lose jobs, it lost trust. The water crisis poisoned more than pipes. It poisoned real estate confidence. Once a city becomes known as unsafe, property value becomes irrelevant because people don't buy homes where they fear survival. Why cheap real estate is a trap. Many new investors make one mistake. If it's cheap, it must be a good deal. That logic destroys wealth. Cheap real estate often means no tenants, no appreciation, high taxes, high repair costs, zero exit options. A house you can't sell is not an asset. It's a liability. Next, City East, Steen Lewis. Government abandonment. East Street Louis was sacrificed. When surrounding areas developed, investment skipped it. Infrastructure aged. Crime rose. Tax base collapsed. And once a city becomes politically irrelevant, it disappears. Hard truth most people ignore. Real estate is not about buildings. It's about belief in the future. When belief dies, prices don't matter. Next, City Camden, New Jersey. Location isn't enough. Camden sits near one of the richest cities in America, and still, it collapsed. Why? Because proximity doesn't equal opportunity. If people don't feel safe, don't see growth, don't trust institutions, real estate fails. Systemic reasons these cities won't recover. Automation killed low-skilled jobs. Remote work concentrates wealth elsewhere. Younger generations avoid declining regions. Infrastructure costs explode as population shrinks. Climate risk increases insurance costs. These forces are irreversible. At this point, you might be thinking, can government save these cities? History says no. Next city, Youngstown, Ohio. Failed revival experiments. Youngstown tried everything. Incentives, tax breaks, grants. Nothing worked. Because you can't revive a city when the economic reason died decades ago. Next city, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Rural collapse effect. Small cities die quietly. No headlines. No media coverage. Just empty houses and shrinking tax bases. Pine Bluff is not crashing. It's fading. And faded cities don't come back. The investor warning. If a city's population chart points down for 20+ years, that's not a cycle. That's a verdict. Next, city Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Rust Belt trap. Once industrial towns share one fate. They were built for one economy. When that economy died, nothing replaced it. Next, city Gary, return case. Why even revivals fail. Sometimes cities get money, but money alone doesn't create purpose. And without purpose, real estate never recovers. Final reality check. The American real estate market is not one market. It is hundreds of separate realities. Some cities will boom, some will stagnate, and some are already dead. The scariest part? These cities are not accidents. They are warnings. And if you don't understand why they failed, you will repeat the same mistakes. Because real estate doesn't forgive ignorance. It only punishes it.